And because of the tariffs, China will not fucking buy it.
It must be tough being a farmer nowadays in the USA. Anyway, the USA government says that China needs them more than they need China.
Remember all that talk about winning a trade war? How it was going to be easy? Well, while the politicians were patting themselves on the back, a whole lot of people got left holding the bag. And right now, that bag is full of about 4.3 billion bushels of unsold soybeans. Today, we're looking at real-world consequences of a trade policy that sounds tough in a speech but plays out completely differently on the ground. We've got some clips of American soybean farmers, the very people who were promised they'd be protected, who are now staring into a financial abyss. Why? Because their number one customer, China, has decided to take its business elsewhere. We're going to break down what's happening, why it's happening, and who's actually winning this trade war. Let's get to it.
Right now, we're in a very dire situation. September's upon us, harvest is starting in the deep south, and we have 0 bushels of soybeans on the books to be sold to China for this current crop that's about to come out of the field.
This is what happens when a bunch of entitled, MAGA voting Americans stand on a box and push isolationist policy. Like tariffs. You guys said that all the other countries will be affected by these tariffs, but we as Americans are untouchable. Let's isolate America. We don't need any other countries. Let's put America first. Well, the soybean farmers who overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump fucked around and found out that that just isn't the case for them. Most of their soybean crops are bought by China because America does not consume that many soybeans. They rely on China to buy the soybean crops. China earlier this year came out and said, ew, we don't want your soybean crops. You can sell them to someone else because we're going to go to Argentina to get ours. That's exactly what they did. And like you just heard the soybean farmer say, they have nothing on the books. They have nobody to buy their soybean crops and they are SOL for it. I don't know, maybe you should have put America first and grown corn. You should have switched to corn, I guess. You chose to grow soybeans, which just quite simply, I guess, is not putting America first. You should have chosen potatoes. If you wanted to go full isolationist and vote for a man who wanted to isolate us and, like, throw away our relationships with foreign nations, that's what you chose. And now no one wants to buy your crops. Crops that you grew knowing that they needed to be exported, yet voted for Trump anyways. Classic. My name is Mercedes Chandler. I don't feel bad for you guys. Give me a follow or you won't see my face again. Thank you. Goodbye.
This is a slow-motion train wreck we all saw coming. For years, the American Soybean Association has been screaming from the rooftops that China buys more of their soybeans than all other foreign customers combined. We're talking about a market that swallows up 60% of all soybeans traded on the planet. What did Taco do? Slap China with tariffs and basically dared them to walk away. Well, they didn't just walk, they sprinted straight to Brazil. In 2024, China sourced 71% of its soybean imports from Brazil. In March of this year, Brazil shipped a record 15.7 million tons to China. So while American farmers are looking at their fields and seeing nothing but red ink, with production costs at over $11 a bushel and prices hovering around $10, Brazil is having a party. So let me ask a question. How is it possible for American farmers not understanding who their number one customer is? And when your customer is a global superpower with a massive appetite and a long memory, maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't pick a fight you can't win. And this comment goes, I think Trump has done the world a favor. He forced other countries to end their reliance on the States and look elsewhere. Yeah, nothing says America first like teaching the entire world they don't actually need America. China should probably be sending thank you cards, I guess. And the borderline girl says, they voted for it. I have absolutely zero sympathy for them and no bailouts. That's socialism. The irony is chef's kiss. The same people screaming about socialism are about to have their hands out for government bailouts. Again. Because apparently socialism is only bad when it helps other people. Watch them discover socialism real quick when their farm gets foreclosed. Suddenly, government intervention sounds pretty good.
I've never been as worried as I am now about whether or not my kids and grandkids will be able to carry on.
He said, I love you, Mr. Trump. I need to see the fruit of your love.
5 of my customers have committed That's how serious that this is.
And what it costs for us to farm is astronomical now.
I farm with paid-for equipment. All my tractors are 50 years old, and I can't hardly make this deal work. I think the tariffs are the ice cream on the cake of a perfect storm.
After a horrible year last year where most farmers in Arkansas Delta lost money, this year's going to be worse.
We made a decision to go out this year in the spring. So my son will not be the seventh generation on our farm.
We're going to lose 25 or 30% of the farmers in this country if they don't do something. It has to be done, and it's not just here. It's everywhere.
Let's look at the data. During the last trade war from 2018 to 2020, U.S. agriculture lost a staggering $26 billion. Soybeans alone accounted for nearly $20 billion of that loss. And a study from that time found a direct link between the trade war and a significant increase in farm bankruptcies. And when this farmer says he's worried about losing 25 to 30% of the farmers in the country, he's not exaggerating. He's describing a systemic collapse. And here's the kicker. While American farmers are going bankrupt, China is executing a long-term strategy for absolute self-sufficiency in food. They passed a whole food security law this year. They are not just reacting, they are building a future where they don't need American farms at all. So when we talk about who's winning, it's not just about who's selling more soybeans today. It's about who is building a more secure future for themselves. Now let's check out some comments. Ken Harris says, thoughts and tariffs. Yeah, Ken gets it. Thoughts, prayers, and tariffs. The holy trinity of doing absolutely nothing useful. And this comment goes, where are all the red hats? Is America great now? Maggots are, probably busy explaining to their kids why the family farm that's been around for 7 generations is now owned by BlackRock. But hey, at least they own the libs, right? Oh, that sucks. Anyways, it sucks if only a whole country and economists told them exactly what would happen. Yeah, right? It's almost like every economist, the American Soybean Association, and Basic Common Sense all said this would happen. But what do experts know?
Well, the Democrats were right again, and it turns out the farmers of Iowa are completely shit out of luck, specifically because they voted for Trump, okay? Because his policies have double fucked them. Now, who was their number one customer? Well, it used to be China. And up until recently, they were buying 60% of our soybean exports out of America. But Daddy Trump came in and jacked up these tariffs, started a trade war with China, and now these soybean farmers have lost their number one customer. So now these soy boys are sitting on a Scrooge McDuck level of soybeans with absolutely nobody to sell them to. And that is why they are begging Daddy Trump for a bailout and for him to cut the shit with China so we can get rid of these tariffs. It's amazing. Trump supporters put him in office hoping that he would just ruin the lives of all the people who they hated. But they didn't realize that Trump isn't on their team. He's on Team Billionaire, not on Team Farmer or Team Trucker or Team Everyday American. He only cares about rich people.
Who's actually benefiting from this chaos? While farmers are going under, who's buying up their land? It's not other farmers. It's hedge funds, big agribusiness corporations, and the ultra-wealthy. They're turning food, a basic human necessity, into just another asset class to be traded and speculated on. You may say it's just capitalism doing what it does best, consolidating wealth and power. But, let's be real. While American farmers lost billions, corporations were reporting record profits. The pain is not being shared equally. Labor gets squeezed while capital finds a way to profit from the disruption. The U.S. trade balance with China in June 2025 was a negative $9.51 billion. America's buying more from China than China is buying from the U.S. So who's really paying for these tariffs? It's not China. It's American consumers and American workers. Now, a lot of people like to frame it as left versus right, but it's really about the 1% versus the 99%. And in that fight, the farmers, the truckers, and the everyday Americans are all on the same side, whether they realize it or not. John S. says, dude, I live in Nebraska. He bankrupted all the farmers here the last time he was president, and they voted for him again. They knowingly voted against their own interests twice. These people are allergic to critical thought. Yeah, Nebraska knows. You lived through this exact movie in 2018 and still bought tickets for the sequel. At some point, fool me twice becomes fool me because I want to be fooled.
Today, you probably seen all the videos about cloning American farmers, right? China cut off soybeans again. Serves you right. Yeah, I get it. They backed Trump. They got burned. They're going to burn before, and they're still with him on the second term. It's very easy to say that's what you get. Here's the truth. Mocking them is just going to help the people on top. Farmers are going bankrupt. And who is buying up their land? The capitalists, hedge fund, billionaires, big agribusinesses. They are turning food into another assets. Think about that. Food is basic resource, and we are letting those ruling class taking control of it and taking advantage of this situation. At Trump's first term, last trade war, farmers lost billions. Some even lost their lives. Meanwhile, corporations raking record profit. Capital did not suffer. Labor did. And it's happening again. We have to understand that farmers are not the enemy. They are trapped in debt, trapped in subsidies, trapped in media bubble. Just like all the warehouse workers, factory workers, you laugh at them, you push them further away. And the elites loves that. My opinion, this is actually, right now is actually the best chance to talk to them, to explain the bigger picture, the class divide, the way capital plays all of us, to show the workers, farmers, students, we are all in the same fight. If we are divided, it's powerless, but united, it's dangerous. That's why they keep us mocking each other instead of linking up. So don't waste this moment. Use it and build unity. I have a full article on Substack, link in bio, and with more context and breakdown. Share this around and follow for more. Thanks, guys. Take care.
This is the most important point of all. It's easy to laugh at the farmers who voted for the guy who then tanked their biggest market. I know, it's the classic leopards ate my face scenario. But who does that serve? Like the speaker said, mocking them just pushes them further into their bubble and plays right into the hands of the people at the top. The real enemy isn't the farmer who made a bad political bet. The real enemy is a system that allows a handful of billionaires to profit from the misery of working people. A system that turns a trade war into a land grab. This, as I said before, is a class issue. And this comment says, if I thought there was a chance they would change, I might agree with you. They have not changed. They're just hurt and surprised, but they ain't changed. All they are saying is, don't hurt me, Trump. They're not saying we were wrong. The lesson isn't learned, it's just inconvenient right now. I guess you can say they're not asking for different policies. They're asking for different consequences, which is a big difference. So what's the takeaway here? It's simple. The USA needs China, not the other way around. I mean, you can talk all you want about being tough and putting America first, but at the end of the day, America is deeply, fundamentally entangled in a global economy. And in that economy, China is a superpower. This is about reality, and the reality is that a trade war with your biggest customer is a stupid, self-destructive act. The farmers are just the canaries in the coal mine. Their pain should be a warning to all Americans. What do you think? Are the tariffs worth it? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more deep dives like this, make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bye.